tested it out, it worked, and then when I went to hit it live, it didn't work, but now it appears that it has worked. So, crisis averted. Today is Monday. Happy Labor Day to everybody. It is September 4th, 2017. I am Goes. It's George on my right. Dan Tom's over there by the door doing something weird, who knows. And Danny Okers, producer Danny, is back in New York. Hi. And he is the only man in the building, more than likely, right?
Oh, yeah, I definitely am. All the lights are off.
And he had a crisis this morning because he couldn't lock into our box here. This is the way we do the show. There's a ISDN box that his box has to line up with our... God, it sounds terrible. Has to line up with our box.
We gotta get the boxes lined up.
And they have to lock. And this morning he wasn't able to do that. And the reason why it's so scary is because we're the only show that's live today. And there's nobody for Danny to call to fix that. So we had to restart quite a few times and finally get things going, but we got it going. Worst came to worst, though, we would be able to do a live show on Ustream and on YouTube.
Ustream? We could still go back to Ustream?
We could do one on Ustream, and then we could also do one on Facebook Live. I was going to get to Facebook Live, but George interrupted me. And then and YouTube. So we would have been able to do one that way, and then we would have to take the audio from that and
30
and kind of merge it together. But Danny wouldn't be able to put anything on Sirius.
What's that buzzing from?
George's fan.
Oh, okay.
It's this mic. There we go. Just turn this mic down. There you go.
All right, guys. Coming up at 10.
All right.
Stand by.
Brad Tavares on his way. He'll be our co-host, UFC middleweight.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McGarren Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMAjunkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is gonna be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMAjunkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMAjunkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communication stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMAjunkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMAjunkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMAjunkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Go.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Race and Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMAjunkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes. Ari's co-host, back east, handling all the producing duties, Danny Otto. Sitting to my right will be UFC middleweight Brad Tavares in about 15 seconds.
He did a little girly hop when he was trying to speed up.
I noticed that.
It was like a little skip. It was real funny.
Dan Tom, newest edition, hovering in and out of camera. You'll see him at some point today. So, Brad, how you doing? What was with that skip?
Yeah, why'd you do that little girly hop right when like you were trying to pick up your pace? You did this like little girly hop.
It is Labor Day, one of the 10 national holidays that's observed by most except us. And why we do that, I really couldn't tell you. I think it just started from years past where Memorial Day. How did I get from Memorial Day to middleweight? Memorial Day cards and Labor Day cards were just pillars of the year. You know, throughout the year they happened. And people wanted to talk about it right away, not on Tuesday. So here we are, just kind of used to that habit. We start at 10 a.m., we'll end at 12. I know the East Coast is kind of really getting going. People probably barbecuing, celebrating the end of summer. if that's a celebration at all. Who knows? They like to see the leaves turn different colors back east. That's their way of saying, man, I wish I could get out west, but I can't. But anyway, they like to see the seasons change and the leaves change. You know, they turn a different color. Yeah. Good luck with that. But you know, barbecues, hanging out with folks.
I like barbecues.
Before driving home. Yeah. It's all coming to a wrap here. If you're in Vegas and you haven't left, you might as well just stay for about another 8 hours or so. Get out of here around midnight. You'll probably get home around the same time.
I would say
it's about a
stay,
10-hour drive if you're leaving about now or maybe in another hour or so.
Stay another 7 days. Because if you do, then you get to watch a real boxing match.
No, because that's in 2 weeks.
What is this week?
Today's
Saturday
was the 2nd.
The 4th, huh?
It's the 16th.
Oh, you're right.
This week
so I would stay another 16 days. Just so you have a little buffer after.
Go home in a barrel. How you doing, Brad?
I'm good, man.
Yeah?
Better not.
Spearfishing, huh?
Yeah. You guys see the video I posted?
I did, yeah. That was cool.
I thought you were back in Hawaii when I saw that. That's why when George goes, I booked Brad, I go, good luck with that.
No. That was here. Willow Beach, the river.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Colorado River.
I had no idea that. How far can a spear go and still have, like, the power to do something like that?
So it just all depends on your gun, size of your gun, how much bands you have, the band strength. So kind of varies.
Yours?
Mine? In that video, that wasn't me. That was the guy who I video credited, Matt Suter. His gun is a little smaller. That was I believe a 90 he was using. So I think they do it in centimeters. So 90 cm.
If Goze's head over there was a fish, could you spear him pretty easily?
With my spear, yeah, I could hit him.
Okay. What about if what if that person right there leaning over, looking their bets?
No way.
That's too far?
No way.
Okay.
That's way too far.
So it loses a little bit of velocity past. That's about 8 yards or so, 8 meters. Okay.
I mean, the bigger
How
the
much
gun,
further than Goze could you be pretty accurate?
So I wouldn't, like me, typically, I probably wouldn't even take a shot past that distance. Like that would probably be like where I would be comfortable taking a shot. Because if not, you might be just wasting, a shot.
Gotcha.
And it's not like you can shoot and shoot again. Once you scare the fish off, pretty much they're gone. Unless, like in Hawaii, it's a little bit different. They might be hiding in a reef or something. Out here, it's all open. So once you miss, and they're gone.
Can I say where you went?
Yeah.
Okay. You were on the Colorado River at Willow Beach.
Willow Beach, yeah.
Now, I know a lot of people jet ski and swim in the Colorado River.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make sure, like, are you in a designated area? Or how do you make sure you don't say, oh, I didn't see that guy?
So, yeah. So it's more dangerous for the diver, obviously. But we dive with these buoys, little dive buoys. They're bright colored, orange, yellow, whatever, usually orange. And it has a dive flag on it. Like, you probably seen those scuba divers with those red flags with the white stripe down the diagonally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So by law, any motor cannot come. I believe I want to say 100 yards within that. So if they do, it's on them. But at the same time, it's like if they come by and, kill you, run you over, you die or hit you. They're going so fast. But you'll hear them coming. So
can I ask you a silly question?
Yeah.
What would be weirder if while you're doing your your harpoon thing, a shark floats right by you? All right, big shark.
A dead one?
No, a great white.
A great white.
You go, holy shit. Or
on the Colorado River?
Yeah, that's why it's weird.
Okay.
Or you get tapped on the shoulder, and it's another guy. He's got a scuba gear, and it says USADA. He's got a cup, and he just goes, come on.
I can actually see USADA doing that, so I would say the shark. Cause
would you give him credit, the USADA guy? Like, all right, you got me?
I'll be like, dude, you're taking your job way too seriously.
Did you check in with USADA? Let them know you're going to Willow Beach? Could that have been a problem?
No, yeah. Honestly, it probably could have been a problem. See, like, that's the crazy thing. It's like, like, if something like that comes up where, like, your friends or your family or whatever, like, hey, let's go down to the river. Yeah, let's go. I'm not far. I don't consider it a travel day. I'm not traveling. I'm driving.
So not about 40, an hour, yeah.
Yeah, not even an hour. Less. From right here, it's probably about 40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, I don't consider that traveling. And then I don't even think about that, especially on a weekend. I'm not even thinking about that. That's the last thing on my mind. But then the crappy part is that they, so I guess you can, like, they'll look for you where your whereabouts are listed, blah, blah, blah. And then, if you're not there, they'll wait. And then if you don't come home or wherever you're supposed to be, then they'll call you and you have a certain amount of time. Then you're on the clock.
How much time do you know?
I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. The people that are collecting the samples, they try to be cool about it. Like everybody that I've met so far, they're pretty cool. Like they try to like work with you. They understand. They get it. They're not trying to like catch you, and
that's what I was gonna ask you. Does it really feel random, or do you ever feel like based on what you write, sometimes like, all right, he's gonna go on a trip, let's get him before he goes, that sort of thing? Do you ever feel like that?
Yeah, because in all honesty, and now that I'm saying this, they'll probably be showing up tomorrow or something. But usually, every time I announce my fight or a fight is officially announced, bout is signed, they'll show up like the next day, like that on it. But
you in particular, or you've noticed that with the pattern of your other teammates and friends as well?
Me in particular.
Okay.
But then, yeah, like usually they'll come. It's weird. Like they'll come so much to test me, which I don't know why. And then this camp, nothing yet. So, I don't know.
Brad is fighting Talis Latis at UFC 216. It's a pay-per-view on October 7th, and that's headlined by Kevin Lee versus Tony Ferguson for the UFC interim lightweight title. Pretty cool that you and a teammate can suffer together or whatever, camp, cutting weight, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so stoked for Kevin. I really like Tony, but I got to side with my friend and my teammate here. And but you know what? I think it's a great fight. I'm not sure.
It is a great fight.
Yeah, I'm not sure how. I don't follow like how people think about it and if it's blah 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 this and that, if they're big enough superstars or whatever. But as far as a fight goes and a fight fan, that's a good fight.
Yeah,
that's a really good fight.
Had you been at Willow Beach and they texted you and said, we tried your local hangouts,
I'll be fucked.
Extreme, the UFC PI, Cracked Egg, couldn't find you,
I'll be fucked because there's no reception down there.
Well, let's just say it got through though.
Okay.
Is that one of those where you have to like, hey everyone, I'll be back in an hour and come back and do it? I mean, it's pretty serious stuff. Or will they work with you like, hey, we were coming home at 6. Can you wait a few hours? How's that work? Have you ever had a conversation like that?
I've never been in that situation. I would hope that whoever's collecting the sample would be cool enough, to work with you like that. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, in all honesty, you could be home and they're there, for the dirty fighters. And you could be like, oh, I'm like 2 hours away. Can you wait for me while you trying to scramble and you know what I mean? So that's the toss up. I mean, for me, I'd hope they work with me. I've never ever tested for anything. Like I've never banned substance.
Are you a supplement taker?
I take supplements.
Yeah.
I take
Have
supplements.
You had
sometimes
them checked thoroughly?
So every time before I take something new or questionable, there's a lot of stuff out there. That's why like. The company name is like anabolic this, and that immediately scares you. You're like, oh, anabolic, that's steroids. But then, if you look at the ingredients, it's not. That's just the company name, So a lot of times when I'm taking something new or whatever, I'll hit up my manager or what's his name, Jeff at UFC.
Nowitzki,
yeah, and I'll send them. I'll take a picture of the product. I'll take a picture of the ingredients, and I'll send them. I'll be like, hey, is this cleared? Because like I'm not sure. It's not listed on the product banned list or whatever, and then they'll usually get back to you like that's fine or whatever. When USADA comes, I mean you gotta kind of remember everything you took. And I don't take supplements like religiously. Like I don't 10 a.m. I gotta take this whatever. It's kind of like if I need a pick me up before I go do strength and conditioning, I might take some pre-workout or something like that. Or maybe like after practice I can't get a meal in, so I'll drink a protein shake or something, So whatever I take, when USADA comes, I'll be like, here, I took this, and this, and I'll show them the supplements I took if I'm at home.
And you've already cleared those through Jeff or anybody else.
Yeah, but I showed them anyway just in case, because I mean, I think it happened with Yo Romero, right? He took something that
tainted.
Yeah, tainted supplement. So yeah, but yeah, so far so good. I've never had any issues.
Check in and tell them you'd be at Mandalay Bay for 2 hours?
No.
Yeah,
that's when it gets it gets a little too much. Like I'm all for, like I understand. Like rules are rules. Try to abide by them, but that's too much.
You're either in Vegas or Hawaii then. That's the only time you check in?
No. So like most recently, when it was the eclipse, I was in Nashville, so I checked.
What were you doing there? You were there for like a couple days, right?
Yeah.
You ate really good, man.
I went there for, I believe, or we flew out Sunday, flew back Wednesday. So
for the eclipse?
No. So this is the crazy thing. So a couple months back, we had planned the trip. This was like, I think might have even been, it was either right after or right before my previous flight. And my girlfriend's like, hey, my friend's birthday, they want to go to Nashville. You want to go, this and that? And I was like, yeah, sure. So we booked it, and then when I got this fight, I looked at the time schedule. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I still got a lot of time. You know, I'm in pretty decent shape rolling from one fight to the next. So I was like, yeah, let's go. And then as it got like a week out, or maybe even 2 weeks, I had no clue about the eclipse. I didn't even know it was coming around. And then I started seeing it on TV, like on the news, and they're talking about, oh, you got to go get these special glasses or you go blind and all this shit. And like me, I'm like, whatever, you know, like I'm not really like into it. It's like whatever. If I see it, I see it. Cool. And then closer it got to the trip, they were like, oh, Nashville and Oregon is like the top two places. Then when we got to Nashville, like it was crazy. Like everybody was like, oh yeah, everything is like sold out because everybody's coming here just for this thing. And I was like, well, now we have to see this, right? You know, like we're in one of the top two places in the country. So we got the glasses. This place we Airbnb'd had like a rooftop patio. So we just chilled out there, and then it was
pretty cool,
pretty amazing. I'm glad I got to take part in seeing it. I know everybody here, it was cloudy, nothing really happened.
Nothing.
Yeah,
we could have had the best spot in Vegas, and the clouds just messed everything up.
Did you see my Snapchat?
I think so.
It?
Yeah,
dude, it looked like the sun set, like those colors. The crickets started coming out, the birds started like flying because they're like, oh shit, we gotta get home. Yeah, it was weird. Like, it was crazy. I was like,
did it cool down?
Yeah, a little bit. Because Nashville is, like, super humid. Mm-hmm. It was hot, too, that day. But it was crazy. And then, like, when it was, like, dark like that, you could just look at it. And it all worked out perfectly because, like, right after it happened, what do they call it? The full totality. Like, shortly after, minutes after that, clouds rolled in. So, it just worked out perfectly. Like,
where'd you get your glasses at?
So one of my girlfriend's friends is from there, and her friend went early and grabbed a bunch for everybody. Okay. Yeah. They're like $5, so whatever.
By the way, did we ever talk about the practical joke at Langley regarding USADA? Did we ever talk about it on the show?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Well, there's nothing wrong with us discussing it, right?
Nah.
Yeah. So I guess it was your idea more than likely, right?
Actually, you know what?
Was it Alton's idea?
Yeah, it was our idea, but Carl Cook, when we said it, we go, nah, we can't do that to those guys. And we left it at that. And then Carl started to get everything going. So then
I definitely said, well, for sure we can do it. Oh. I know at first it was some hesitancy. I go, no, we can do it because it's just how long we carry it out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But basically, Brad, Felice, Todd, and Kevin. Let me give the whole names. Kevin Lee, Brad Tavares, Felice Herrig, and Todd Duffy went with us to visit the troops at Joint Bases Langley Eustis. And while we're there, we had someone call the group because we all got shuttled around together and say, hey, there's someone from USADA, right? Is that how we went about it? Waiting for us at the hotel?
Yeah, Carl said we were on the Air Force Base, and he told everyone that somebody is waiting. Like, are you guys expecting someone? There's somebody waiting for you over at the other base, which is about a 20-minute drive.
Right.
And so right away they were like, oh, you? I don't know. And then I think one of them said, could it be USADA or something like that? And then the ball started rolling.
At first they thought, oh, maybe it's Butler because he was supposed to come.
Right.
And then but then they're like, oh no, he got his clearance, so it can't be him. And then they're like,
to their credit, I didn't see a panic. I just saw like, God damn, like,
well, they did.
These guys follow us everywhere.
This is an invasion of our privacy. Like,
no, I started getting pissed.
Yeah,
I was getting mad. I was like, these motherfuckers, are you serious? Like, we're doing something for the troops, you know what I mean? Like, we're doing something for other people, not for ourselves. And we're trying to give back to them, and then they're gonna come in, and you know, like it's a little process. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not crazy, but you do sit there. They do have to log and ask you all these questions. Then you have to collect the sample, and if you cannot collect the sample immediately, they just follow you around. At no point can you be out of their sight. Once
should have taken them on the top of the ladder.
I wonder what would have happened with clearance and all that, you know?
Oh, that's right.
Like, this is the one time where you just go,
Yeah.
I gotta go. I gotta go over here. Go ahead and follow me if you get clearance. But I wonder whose shoulder that
Yeah, I don't
shoulders
know.
that blame or whatever. But yeah, so we played the joke, and I don't remember how much time we let it go, but eventually we
It
said,
was all at
"Man,
the
we're just
firehouse.
bullshitting."
Yeah, it was
So
a
it was
while.
about an
though.
hour and a half maybe.
Yeah.
I was like, and I fully bit on that. I was like, these motherfuckers, they really are here. Like, they followed us here. The crazy thing was, like, why it worked too is because I know for myself, and I think somebody else, maybe Kevin or somebody, like, literally that was like the second day. So literally that night, we had filed our whereabouts to tell them, like, oh, we're on a trip. And then just so happens, like, that's how they work. That's why, like, oh, you're here? And, oh, you think you're going to get away from us?
There you have it. All right. Good stuff there. Follow Brad on Twitter at Brad Tavares, and you can check out the spearfishing
I got
that
a
he
good
did this
prank
weekend.
for this trip too.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right. Dan already knows?
He doesn't know, and it may involve him. So during the first break, we're gonna send him out, and I'll tell you guys. But I think it's good.
Who's the fighters going
Well,
this time?
why would you tell him that there's the joke at it is he'll be on his toes?
Even if it's not for him, it'll make him uncomfortable the whole trip.
Oh, I see. Well, like the
kinda
slap
fun
when
too.
someone owes you a slap
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you don't know when it's coming.
Colby Covington,
Okay.
Misha Tate, Paul Felder, and Stitch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We leave on Wednesday. Pretty excited about it.
Are there fights this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh,
Demetrius
yeah.
Johnson
Demetrius Johnson. That's right.
and Ray
that's right.
Borg,
And
Valentina
Amanda-
Shevchenko versus Amanda Nunes. I can't believe that it will be 2 months since Amanda Nunes woke up and decided not to fight.
From the last tour, remember? The bowling alley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, that's the one that works there? Or
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Hi.
so we leave Wednesday and we'll be doing a viewing party like we did when we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, really excited about it.
Yeah.
And thanks again to JBLE for inviting us. So we look forward to heading out there. We have 3 shows this week, today, tomorrow, and then we will be here Wednesday. We'll be here packed and ready to go. And after the show, we head over to McCarran Airport to head back east. We'll have to give the fighters a reminder to check in, I guess, so that
That's right.
that doesn't create some sort of a headache, because I'd hate for one of them to be put in a position where, like, well, we're leaving in 4 hours if you don't come back, and they're both within a shot of hopping on a flight.
If it does
to head
happen,
back,
though,
you
we
know
got
what
to
I
make it uncomfortable, right? Like, have the dog come out, put him on the top of the ladder, make him climb the ladder all the way to the top.
Pee on the top.
Yeah.
Were you the only one that climbed up, or was that Kevin?
No, all of them did it.
No. They actually climbed the.
All the way to the
Yeah.
top of the ladder.
Did they climb?
Oh, no. He did
Somebody-
it the highest. But Kevin and
I think Felice did
Felice's
do it,
was
but
a little bit lower.
Okay. Is that
And I
what
think
was?
it may have been at an angle a little bit, but his was like straight
I didn't
up
know
and
how
was at the
how
top.
high that carriage could go on a fire truck, and those trucks are massive, man. We were up there pretty high.
All right,
Yeah.
look right here real quick.
What's up? The snap.
And here's, I
that's
don't know
for
if you
Twitter.
guys know this, but when Kevin did it, so I had to do it with Kevin. And the guy at the top was like not their chief, but whatever the second in command was.
Mhm.
He didn't go as high as he did with you guys because he's afraid of heights.
Mhm.
And he goes, I don't want to go any higher.
So was I.
Yeah.
I'm a little
You
afraid
guys
of
were
heights, and
actually higher than we
I
were.
toughed it out, so that guy better tough it out. Can you imagine if you're on the 10th floor and he's going up? Nah, can you jump down a couple?
Yeah.
I'm afraid of heights.
You're a cat. You can just jump.
Anyways on that, 866-522-2846 is the number to call in. That's a key, folks, because if you want to get in the contest for this glove right here that's signed by Triple G and Canelo Alvarez, we have spots available. We're going to be a little bit more generous this week than we were last week. Just call in and basically don't suck, to take a line from what Jim Rome's show used to say, have a take and don't suck. We're just saying don't suck. But, let us know your thoughts on anything that's happening in this sport of ours, mixed martial arts and boxing, which has been a big year for boxing, a big summer for
part of our
boxing.
show.
I really don't mind talking about it. In fact, when we come back, I want to talk about Mayweather McGregor one last time, because I saw the replay on Saturday night. Showtime had a replay. I caught it, and I do have some thoughts to share. Now, some of them are going to be like, duh, Captain Obvious, because now we know the results. Now we've seen it. We've had a chance to break it down. You're obviously not feeling the emotion that you're feeling that day if you have a bet or you're just rooting for somebody. But still, I think there's a few things where you can look at and say, hold on a second. Like, let me expand on those thoughts. Also, John Jones, some news there, talking about PEDs, allegations, things like that. They revealed that he did pass a blood test on Saturday, so that adding to the confusion of his whole.
Yeah, how do you pass a blood
those
test but not a
allegations.
urine test?
Yeah, I'll try and explain that a little bit. I know Dan's well versed in that, so we'll try and explain that when we come back on the MMA Junkie Radio Show. We got Brad Tavares, UFC middleweight, in the house.
I'm glad I went
Common
first, though, 'cause
sense.
that guy
These
looked like he
guys
was
have
getting
none of that.
paid.
You listen to them, so you're no better. I am awesome, though. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
Hope you're all enjoying your Labor Day with family and friends. We're still cranking out our show here. It's a Monday through Friday show. With the exception of this week, we'll just go on Monday through Wednesday. 10 a.m. Pacific live at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. Stop on by and join us sometime. Won't you? Make sure you bring that picture of the camera or a pen and paper. You never know who will be here in studio. Like today, we have UFC middleweight Brad Tavares. We're reliving our moments at JBLE. Joint base Langley Eustis, where Goes and I, along with Stitch Duran and a few other fighters, will be headed this weekend. Let's talk about that, and then we'll start our little recap of UFC Fight Night 115, which took place this past weekend. Rotterdam, Netherlands. Alexander Volkov defeating Stefan Struve in the main event. You got tased.
I got tased.
Yeah. How would you compare that to, I guess, other physical...
Not getting tased.
Or
How would I
other
compare
things
it
you've
to
done
not getting
physically that, you know, so that people can have an idea of what it feels like.
Damn, I'm trying to think. Like, how can you compare that?
Why don't we do like a scale of 1 to 10, George?
What if somebody picked you up and, like Kevin Randleman picked you up and slammed you? Like, do you think it was, would you rather take one of those slams, like a nice power slam where you both bounce back off the canvas? You're not going to die. You're not going to, you know, be paralyzed or anything like that. But the full impact of something like that, or would you rather get tased again?
I could probably get knocked out by getting slammed like that. Probably rather get tased.
Tased
and get slammed on my head.
No, kind of like one of the most conventional ones where you're landing spread out on your back.
Like Trey Hughes?
I definitely would not want to land on my back. If he did it like how he did with like Fedor, where Fedor kind of landed on.
No, not like that. Yeah.
How about like Trig Hughes too?
Yeah.
Something like that. Remember where he picks him up, carries him, and then drops him?
Wait, that was when he ran him across the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd rather get that.
You'd rather get that than get tased?
Yeah, I would rather get that happen.
Getting tased sucked.
But I'm thinking like freaking I'm getting power bombed and flat on my back.
Oh, no.
I'd rather get tased.
Okay, and getting tased, was that the experience you expected, or did it suck worse? Or
it was kind of what I expected, but yeah, it was actually it's probably a little worse than what I expected. I just thought like boom, it's gonna hit you, your body's gonna lock up, but it really does feel like a huge muscle cramp through your whole body.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. And so there was a countdown. 3, 2, 1. When it happened, as I remember, there was a couple people that held you down and brought you down slowly. As it happened, could you think through it, or did you basically, black out until it was over?
No, I could think through it because I was like, fuck. Like,
that's what he did, but like 10 times louder.
The worst part was in my leg, like my calf. Like they had it right below my calf, one of the prongs. And that
could you hear us like
up,
laughing and experiencing it with you? So you were
you,
aware.
You're aware, but your main focus is dealing with what is happening right now. Your body's just like, ah.
If we told you it lasted about 5-10 seconds, would you say it felt like 5-10 seconds, or did it feel like an hour, or how long did it feel like?
I felt like it was longer than what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
I think it was about 5 to 7 seconds.
Yeah.
But so the other thing is that I wish that he would have counted down like 3, 2, 1, boom. Like he like before when they prepped us, remember he's like, okay, I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. 1, are you willing to do this? Or no, the first question was 1, are you physically capable of doing this? You don't have any heart problems, anything that would prevent you physically from doing this. 2, are you voluntarily doing this? And then you got to answer yes to both questions, right? So he asked the first question, then he asked the second question. I was expecting him to be like, okay, you're voluntarily doing this, blah, 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 blah. Yes. Okay, are you ready? Yes, blah, blah, blah. No, he was like, you're volunteering to do this. Yes.
Oh, man.
I don't remember it like that. Is that how it went down?
Yes.
I would want the countdown, too.
He didn't even give me a chance. I didn't even get out of YES. I didn't even get the S out of my mouth. Yeah.
So you could have even said like, Yes, as long as you don't, like you didn't even finish your sentence.
Yeah, I didn't even finish my word.
And he's used to, the referee, are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on. And this just happened, right?
And then we touched gloves, and there was no touching the gloves. It was just fucking yeah.
Here's what I keep laughing at. During the break, we were talking about this, and Brad shared with us that he told some of his buddies in law enforcement about it. And as he's telling us, he goes, and the most fucked up thing about it is, I guess, the 2-prong shot at different parts of your body. So they did it what did he say? He goes, they did it the most fucked up possible way out there. Can you explain that?
Okay, so from what I understand, when a taser is shot at you, it's just gonna land where it's gonna land, right? And when it's shot out, it's meant to spread, but it's not gonna go crazy far, because if not, one of them will probably miss. So what they did to us, me and the other guy, was they put it as far apart on our body as possible, so to catch the most, muscle mass in your body as possible.
And where did it hit? The Achilles?
He had it like right above my Achilles, like I would say like right below. In fact, right there's a scar from it.
Oh, you have a scar from it?
Yeah, on my back too.
Oh shit.
So he put it like right below my calf, above my Achilles, and then the other one was like up on my shoulder blade somewhere. And so they basically the furthest parts away from your body,
and everything in between cramps up.
Yeah, and everything in between. So whereas if it's shot into you, it's not that far. It hits you a couple inches away from each other, and it's not spreading.
I think that answers the question about why you could have planked if nobody was there, and you could go face
I
first
would have planked
because your whole body stiffens.
Yeah.
Whereas in the scenario we've been talking about, law enforcement, bad guy. When they shoot, I think most of the time I've seen straight this way or straight in the back, and that allows for the knees to bend, and then you have like some sort of a fall that protects your brain.
What I don't understand is how come the electricity isn't transferred from person to person?
Maybe because you're grounded. You're on the ground, touching the ground. Maybe.
Weren't you on the ground?
No, that's what I mean. Like you're grounded, so it's not transferring.
I'm sure there's different levels of current or types of current. But that show Ozark that we watched? Yeah. Have you seen Ozark?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a part where, turn it down. I'll give you 5-10 seconds if you're listening live, where I'm gonna talk about this. 3, 2, 1. All right. In the show Ozark, do you remember when they rigged it so that they were gonna kill one of the characters at the pier with the wires? Well, it can only travel a certain distance. So obviously, if you're in a bathtub and someone throws the hairdryer, boom, you're done because it's a small area. But in a big lake like that, it can only go so certain far. Otherwise, everyone in the lake would be, and so it can only go so far. That part I did catch.
But remember, the guy grabbed him, and then he also.
Right. So, that's close. That's close proximity. But like, let's say you were swimming like 50 meters away. Hey, what are you guys doing? And someone's getting shocked. I don't think it would get to them.
No, I
so
get that.
At some point, the
that's
current
close proximity too.
Well, it is.
Holding them.
But again, there's different types voltage. Of current.
It
could be that I think if you wear rubber boots, rubber soles, or something like that, there's different ways for it to not affect you. So there's just different components. One of them is proximity. That one's close, but the other one is the prong versus actual current from.
Would you get tased the way he got tased?
That's a good question. Here's why I'd be scared. As a fat guy, I should be thinking heart first, right? But I'm not. Because if I were to ever do it, I would clear myself with a doctor where I go, hey, can I get tased on a future trip? And he said, yeah. When you said something about all the muscles in your body, since I have Bell's palsy and I have muscles that are shut down on the right side of my face, I'm scared that if they did that and I cramped up, that would hurt pretty bad. Because there's times when I'm shaving, and when you shave, you're like, getting certain little areas. Or there's been times when I sneezed as well, that because I have atrophy and some of these muscles just don't get used, I have to actually push certain muscles because it's on the verge of being very, very painful.
Like
so that's what
cramps up.
That's what I would be scared of. Is once we're done,
scared of a foot cramp.
Once we're done, they're going, "Why are you still in agony? My fucking face!" In front of everybody, and I'm on the ground. That's what it would be.
So one thing, I did not feel anything in my face.
No,
I didn't. Like it was from like in between the two.
So maybe that's as far as it goes, right? It was here on your shoulder blade.
Oh, so it's everything in between.
I think it's wherever the 2 prongs are. It's everything in between.
Okay.
So it ain't gonna go.
So then maybe shoot me in my thigh, and I think I'll be all right. I can get over.
Hey, did you feel it in your junk?
No.
Oh, good. All right, I wouldn't be able to do that. So just your body. Dude, you screamed loud, man. And the guy after you was even louder.
Yeah.
It really looked like hell, George. Hell on earth. Like, you know how he was saying, could you hear us laughing? I wasn't laughing. This is the face I was like this. Oh,
Mine was
oh my God.
As soon as they did it, I was like, fuck! It's the longest fuck. I held on to it too. I just kept saying it. Fuck!
I can't believe how down you guys were for some of these things. I mean, I guess you are extreme sport professional athletes. So what's.
Dude, when you guys were saying
jumped
that
off the thing, the boat.
Oh, if they would fucking
now,
said
see,
yes,
I would do that.
Done that.
You do that?
Believe it or not, I would. I'm not scared of water, the depths or currents or anything like that. I consider myself a pretty decent swimmer. And plus, I imagine there's two guys ready, from the military, ready to jump in there for me in case something goes wrong. But I'm not scared of that height that they talked about or doing that.
Would you do it if they weren't there?
I mean, is the rest of them still looking at me? I'm sure there's someone giving me a pole if I'm drowning. I mean, what do you mean?
Yeah, if they're not at the bottom waiting for you.
Yeah, I'd still do it.
You'd still do it?
Yeah, I'd still do it. But what were you going to say?
No, I said you guys should ask them for clearance to do it.
Well, they said that if we would have asked before,
Yeah.
they probably would have let you do it. But they basically goes, there's a big boat. And then the first thing out of Brad's mouth was, can I jump off of this? So I don't think they could do it that
I don't
way,
think
but
anybody fucking thought of that except me. They're like, why the fuck would you want to do that? I'm like, that looks fun. Jumping off this height into there. As long as it's fucking...
You don't need people to be down there? Like, you don't need to be covered in semen? Like, you'll just jump in?
It's not the Navy.
At no point in my fucking life would I ever want to be covered in semen.
Well, to make sure you're okay.
By semen.
Yeah,
is what
by
it is.
semen.
Oh, by semen,
Yeah.
with semen.
Okay.
No.
Here's something I've been wanting to ask you. When we were at the bowling alley, you guys were punching that machine that measured the power, right?
Yep.
And you came really close, like with maybe 20 points of Ben
10.
Rothwell.
You came
10
within
points
10.
of Ben Rothwell's record. You guys are having a lot of fun. I heard the UFC PI has one. Do they have one that's there 24/7, or was there just something brought in for that one?
No. So it ain't
that one little athlete summit you guys had.
I don't know if that's what they're talking about, but they have a actual like legit one on the wall that is there 24/7 that measures your punching power. I have never hit it yet. The one time that I wanted to mess around with it because people were actually there and it was on, one of my friends hit it and then it like malfunctioned after. Not because he hit it so hard, but just maybe overuse or whatever. Dan Ige.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he hit it and then it like...
He's a lighter guy.
Broke. Yeah, he's a 45er. But
that sucks he didn't make it into the UFC, man.
I know.
He won that fight, and I thought he deserved it.
Yeah.
Well, we heard that a lot of people, it was either during the summit or just on an occasion where a lot of athletes were there. We heard one guy that's done well. I don't know if he's got the unofficial record. Believe it or not, he's another middleweight. Douglas Lima, Bellator guy.
Oh,
why would he be there again? I guess he was there to corner.
No, he's
his
a
brother.
welterweight.
Yeah, he is a welterweight. Yeah. He was there to corner, and while they were there, you know how you're allowed to bring in a guest or two? Thanks for inviting us, by the way. You're allowed to bring a guest.
You guys before, remember you guys were saying you guys are going to go on an unofficial or the tour or whatever, and I was like, fuck, if you guys want, just let me know, and I'll bring you guys with me.
We want.
Let's go.
All right. So apparently he was there, and people have been hitting it, and apparently he's got a good score.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if they keep it. I don't know if it's like a video game. I've never seen it.
It's weird looking. It just looks like a... You ever seen those like... I think Fairtex makes it, a bunch of other companies. It's like it doesn't look like a bag, but it's on the wall, and it kind of sticks out so you can throw uppercuts at it, knees and stuff.
Yeah, it's like slanted.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like that.
So, but it doesn't have a give then?
No.
So that... Can't you fuck up your hand?
I don't know. I've never hit it. You know what? I should go hit it next time. I've never, ever even touched it.
How often do you go to the UFC PI versus Extreme Couture?
Pretty evenly. I'm at Extreme Couture Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I work out at the PI Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But I do go on the other days just to take advantage of the recovery, the personal trainer, the physical therapist, and then the calf, free food. Love it.
Good food?
Good food, yep.
Yeah. I
Really
heard that
good
there's
food.
not even a menu. You could just tell them, like, make me spaghetti and meatballs, and they'll do it.
So if you want to do it that way, there is like a thing where, but you have to tell them in advance so that they can, prepare it for you. And then you can just pick. It's like basically like if you went to, I don't know, kind of like Chipotle. They're like, oh, what kind of base or whatever do you want? What kind of protein do you want? What kind of fats do you want? What kind of vegetables do you want? And you can kind of get it like that.
Have you done that yet?
I've done it once the first time, but it was real like, I felt like I was being like too high maintenance. And when I looked at the rest of the food that they just cook, because they just have different stuff every day, I was like, oh, I'll eat that. So
why did you feel like you were high maintenance? Were they like rolling their eyes?
No, that's the
Princess is here. Or
no, that's the one thing that that they did right. Well, not the one thing, but that's one thing that they did really right, from top to bottom, from like everybody there, from the kitchen staff to like the strength and conditioning staff to the nutrition staff, physical therapy staff, and even like the people that are just there cleaning the facility. Everybody there is like personable, nice, like genuine, like not, like they're not trying to fake it, like, oh hi, like they're cool people.
Have you ever gone to not work out and just eat, and then as soon as you're done, leave and bail?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a restaurant for you.
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I do that. I do that quite often actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they start lunch at 11:30. So like, say I finish a workout at Couture's around. I started at 10. I'll finish at 11. By the time I shower and whatnot, I'll just go there, eat, go home, nap, and then.
Are there a lot of people that do that?
I think the people that are here take advantage of it. Myself, Uriah, I see Khalil there a lot. Francis is there a lot. Evan, Kevin, just all the local,
people?
The Vegas-based people, yeah. So we really take advantage of it. But the thing I love about it too is I think that there's a lot of smaller fighters out there, not smaller size-wise, but like that come from smaller gyms that they'll want to take advantage of this. It's free. It's free physical therapy. It's free strength and conditioning. It's free meals. Free access to a nutritionist. It's everything that you could want. They have it there at your disposal. So I think it'll bring a lot more fighters out here. If not to live out here, at least for a lengthy part of their camp.
Have they established like a barrack system or apartments nearby where if an athlete wants to come out for 30 days?
Not to my knowledge, but I mean,
like something like you would see at a firehouse. For example.
But that would be cool if they had like a, like a dorm. And I'm sure that they have that
gotta be around
in
the
works.
corner,
Yeah.
What about, does it ever get cliquey? Because a lot of the people not necessarily have to train at Extreme Couture. You guys all kind of get along, syndicate guys. You see each other around town. When the new guys come, a guy from Houston or a guy from Boston, does it ever get kind of cliquey? Like, that's my table, dog. I'm there every Thursday.
Nah.
That's my pod.
Nah.
Do you have a favorite table or anything like that?
Nah, I just sit wherever's comfortable.
How many strength and conditioning people are there? Like, what if you show up and say, I'd like to do strength and conditioning, and they go, well, there's 4 people ahead of you.
So the main guy is Bo, and then Bo Sandoval, and then he has he's actually, and I just like realized this, he's actually just an intern. So at some point he's not gonna be there. Is this guy Kyle, which is a bummer. Super good dude. But it's just the 2 of them right now. But you have to schedule. So like you can either hit Bo up or hit the front desk staff up and be like, hey, what is Bo's schedule looking like? But like, so what I did my past 2 camps is, last camp before it even opened, I went in, I met with Bo, I talked to him, like, kind of told him my goals, what I really want, what I the targets out, just my goals and stuff, and kind of how I usually run my camp, and then his input on it too, and then we put together a plan, and then I just set up my camp every single session already in advance, and I did the same thing this camp.
You and Kyle get along pretty well. I actually have a clip if you want to hear you guys hanging out.
The jacuzzi area.
Hi, Kyle. Hi, Kyle. I don't know what happened after that.
I want to give a shout out to Jeff Powell, Joe Mosquito, Danny Olkers, Ramundo Martin, Martin Stabilo, Gavin McCarran, Simon Samano, Orlando Figueroa, Alfonso Berry, Tony Diaz, listening from OKC. All right, let's take another break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. It's a Labor Day edition. When we come back, we will put out some topics so that we can go over them. At the same time, I want to tell you about my experience watching Maymac again. This will be my 4th time, but now I saw the Showtime broadcast. And yes, we will get to those results from this past weekend, UFC Fight Night 115. Stay close.
What if Uriah Hall goes, man, I did it for 90? You wouldn't feel bad?
No, I'll be like, fuck, props to you, bro.
They pat down TSA agents because they don't know where those people have been, and because they can. They are Gorgeous George and Goes, and this is MMA Junkie Radio.
Apparently getting tased is a lot worse than Brad was leading on early on. We just offered him $500,000 a year to get tased twice a week to wake up. That would be his wake up.
Twice a week? Hell no.
So if he gets tased on Monday, he knows there's only one left, right? Between Tuesday and Sunday. If he gets tased Monday and Tuesday,
he hasn't been tased.
He's got the rest of the week off.
It's coming.
Right.
Yeah, what if they tase me?
If you get tased,
if
it's Monday through Friday and you haven't gotten tased, at least you can fall asleep on Friday night going, oh, here we go. You know, just kind of curl up and know
do naps count?
that's Saturday. No, it's just your wake up.
Okay, yeah, naps.
You know it's back to back Saturday and Sunday. I better not drink too much. I better just chill, you know. It's coming.
You got a lady, right?
Yeah.
She's gonna give her some kind of money, right? Because she can't be sleeping next to him doing that twice. Like she's gonna be pissed too.
Well, we offered him $100,000 a month, and he says he'd consider it twice
a week.
So it is worse than we thought, or it has to do with what you were telling us about not liking to wake up unless it's under your terms.
Under my terms.
Yeah.
I will never text him again before 1 p.m. ever.
Yeah, really. Thank God I didn't send him a reminder. Huh?
No,
hey, bro, remember?
That's fine because
what if I wake you up? Then you're gonna be pissed.
Do not disturb. I put my phone on that every day.
Okay.
Before, if I'm going to sleep, my phone is on that.
Oh, really?
Yep. If I'm gonna take a nap, I put my phone on do not disturb.
What about when you're in a hotel? Do you put the thing on the outside?
Oh, that thing stays on my door.
Yeah.
It's so like funny too because if you like order shit up to your room and you have that, they won't fucking knock on your door. But you just called for it. But like that's their policy. If they see that, they don't disturb you.
Who was the last person that woke you up where it pissed you off?
USADA.
Yeah, the most memorably USADA.
What about before them though?
Before them, probably one of my friends snoring.
Oh.
That like so, just the other night, me and my boy didn't.
That's
he was
the goat of snoring right there.
We're cruising at my house, and then I have a Normatec at my house, right? You guys know what that? It's a compression machine. It's the legs, the hips, and they have arms. So I started using it at the UFC PI, and I liked it so much that I bought one on my own. So I have one at my house, and then so my friends take full advantage of it. They're like, hey, after a hard day of training, like, can I Normatec? Yeah, sure, whatever. So we're just chilling in the living room, and then he was like, we were playing NBA Live a bunch of times, and then so it got late. We were tired, and it's like, I'm gonna Normatec. Is that cool? Yeah. So we threw on a movie. I'm just chilling, and then I started falling asleep. This was the night after I was diving. So what was that? Saturday night. So I'm exhausted, and then he finishes Normatecing, and then I thought he was just gonna go home or whatever, but he's just chilling. He was like, we were watching a movie. He was tired, so he started falling asleep. He started snoring. I was like, Don, get up, Don. And he's like, what? And I was like, bro, you snoring. Like, as long as I fall asleep first, that's fine. I can sleep through the snoring.
All right, hang tight. I got to exit real fast for a commercial on the sports update. We got Brad Tavares. We got him for another hour, so he'll finish the story.
Everybody who writes stuff says.
No, it was like this.
It was like this when I got here.
It really was. There, I fixed it.
All right, here we go. It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. You didn't catch on to the theme yet, Brad, of the music? Yeah, okay.
Just another Manic Monday.
Yeah, there we go. Man, there's a lot of stuff to cover here. I want to get to these fight results. Let's just glance over them real fast, and then we'll take some calls. And I want to get to this normal tech. I want him to finish his story, but I'm curious. Just tell me real fast, how much does the normal tech cost? Normal tech.
So I guess because being a UFC athlete or whatever, they gave me a discount. But it was, if you don't have that discount, it's like $5,000 more, depending what you get with it. Because they have 2 different machines, and then they have all the different attachments. Yeah, here it is.
And how long do you sit in that?
Usually, like, you can sit in it however long, but I'll usually do it like an hour, depending how much time I have. That guy is. Oh, that's Yancy.
I thought that's what you got, the whole body, right?
No, yeah, I have it all, but I've never done it like that.
Never?
Is this on Normatech's website?
I don't know. I just typed it in, and these are like the...
Yans. That's funny. The Michelin. I've never done it like that. I've done like the 2 arms together, the 2 legs together. The thing is, I couldn't do this at my house, because this would take 2 machines to do, and I only have the one.
What's happening?
Okay, so...
Tingling or
is
compressions? Is
it like when you're at Brookstone and you sit in the chair and it starts to like...
Kind of.
Pressure?
Hey, Normatech, if you guys are listening, I better get something for this. But anyway, so what it does is it's compression. So it feels... They have different sections. You can kind of see it, yeah? Yeah. And then what it does is it'll tighten this section, and then it'll tighten the next section, and then it'll start to release this section. So what it's doing is causing, like, I don't know the complete science behind it. It's on the website, but it squeezes it in different sections, and it causes the blood to flush through and keep flushing through. Like, it keeps flushing through. And then so you're getting fresh blood running through your muscles, and then, you know, in turn helping your recovery. Yep.
Do you make your boys shower before they go in there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Hell yeah. I make my friends shower before they get in my truck.
Okay.
It is funny, like, if we're coming, like, even if we're going to go to the pool, like, after like, I live right around the corner from the gym, but if we're going to go jump in the pool, if they're not showering, like, get in the back. Like, go lay down in the back of the bed of my truck. So, definitely Normatech. Same thing.
Would you be a little pissed if it said, if it had a little blurb that said, "Thanks, Normatech, for the hookup, Yancy"?
No.
You're not a hater?
Hell no. I'd be happy for him.
Why is he doing it like that?
Yeah, look at that.
The wife doesn't
Upside
look happy.
down? Huh. Well, interesting. You liked it so much you purchased one.
Yeah.
And his buddies like coming over to use it, so it must be pretty good.
So I was like, dude, this would be so cool to do when you're just watching TV, playing video games, you know, just chilling. And so I bought one. I had my manager look into it and see like what if we could get some kind of deal through the UFC or whatever. And yeah, they gave us a deal, and so I bought one.
Can you pass me that board, please?
Sir.
You ever play that NBA game with Cormier?
Which one?
The one that you play.
He probably plays 2K.
Is it 2K? What's the one you play?
Live.
Are you good?
He's really good at one of them.
He wouldn't beat me if it's live.
He said he was like ranked number like 30 in the world, right, or something like that.
Really, really good.
And one of them.
He probably plays 2K.
Yeah.
Yeah. Live has been weird lately. So they made an NBA Live in 2010. I think Dwight Howard was on the cover, and then they didn't make another one till like 2014 or something. And I think Kyrie was on the cover. And then they made one 15, 16, and then 17 they didn't make one. And then they're coming out with 18. I just seen.
Who do you play with?
What team?
Yeah.
My favorite team to play with lately has been Golden State, just because.
You're really making it tough on yourself, huh?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So this is how we play, though. This is how we play. And same thing like with Madden. You go your side, whatever, and then you get 3 randoms. You can pick one of the 3 randoms. So you hit random 3 times. You keep track of those teams. Like, okay, Golden State, Raptors, Memphis. and then now you're gonna pick one of the three. If it's three shit teams or the teams that you have don't stack up well against the team your friend has, you can have a fourth, but you have to be the fourth team regardless. And then all-star teams don't count. So if you get the Western All-Stars, that doesn't count. You random
Who's
again.
the team where you go, oh man, not this bullshit?
So on NBA Live 16, the teams that I suck playing with, believe it or not, is the Rockets, which they're not a bad team. I don't know. I'm terrible with them. The Rockets. And I always do pretty shitty with the Clippers, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're not just Lob City or whatever they call themselves?
No.
A lot of Hawaiians are Lakers fans. Are you a Lakers fan, by the way?
No.
No? Okay. What are you?
I'm not really I'm not
much of an NBA guy?
No, so I don't have really a team. Like when I was young, I really loved watching like Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, and I really like the Bulls. So being from Hawaii, I'm more of a player fan.
Gotcha.
And then my second most like favorite team after that was when Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Rondo, and Garnett were together. I love that team. Like I love watching them play. So I really like follow the Celtics, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not really like that's my team. Like I'm more like get drawn to certain players.
Mm-hmm. All right. Goes. Red is. Oh, you switched it, right? Which one's the one that's go?
This one right here. There's 3 of us on the pick right now.
Okay, that's the good one then. I always thought that it was backwards because I thought I remember asking you once, why isn't green just go?
You would think, but it's red.
So red. Okay, so then can you switch it? Because see how red can't be seen very well? There we go. So that board is starting to fill up. We just gave Brad. He asked us about the contest. He wanted to be a part of it. So Brad's got round 1, Triple G.
Wait, somebody has it though.
No, that's just these 4 names have to fill in.
Oh.
Jim from Long Beach, Marcus from Atlanta, Aaron from Texas, and somebody from the MMA Combat Chat will occupy some other spots. But we're giving you Triple G, round 1 KO. All right, let's take some calls. And if you want to be a part of this, call in. 866-522-2846. What's up, Brandon? How you doing?
GG, I know you're still salty from the flag football game, but why are you trying to kill Tavares? That's 104 tasers in a year, bro. That is...
But $100,000 a month?
He gets a lot of money, though, dude.
Yeah.
It'll be the worst year of his life, but he's right. You might develop, like, PTSD or something.
Yeah, bro.
He'll never be
No,
able to
well, we
sleep
would
again.
clear it. We would clear it that your health would not be in any way impaired.
He wouldn't die, but
you can't control PTSD, though.
Well, what I'm saying is we would do our research. The whole point is just the fact that you have to wake up in that pain for 5-10 seconds. But then after that, you go about your day. You can skip to work the way you skipped into the studio.
Da-da-da.
Yeah. Brandon from Louisville. Did you want a spot in this contest? Being a little more generous this week. Usually has to do with a good call, but obviously the deck stacked against you there, so let's just give one to you.
Sure, I'll take a spot in the contest. Pick a round, pick a fighter.
Yeah.
Triple G and what's even left?
It's more fun if you tell me, and then I can just tell you.
6th round.
No, that's not taken. All right. Brandon from Louisville. That's you, dog.
Sweet.
All right.
It was glad that fights were back this weekend. Unfortunately, something even better was on this weekend. That was the return of college football. And as much as I love college football, it was kind of gut-wrenching this weekend. I know my Cards got a scare from Purdue, and that was a little hard for me to deal with. Gigi, I know you were probably sweating bullets with USC and Western Michigan.
Yeah.
And Gozy.
I know.
Did you enjoy college football this weekend?
I did not. I don't follow UNLV football as much as I do basketball, but I did go there. Yeah, that was stupid. Our coach really needs to get shit together.
Speaking of teams that aren't doing well, what about the 0-4 exhibition season by the Raiders? Are you a little concerned there?
Fuck no.
No?
The Cleveland Browns went undefeated.
Did they really?
I think they did, right?
Oh, wow. Okay, well, then that trumps anything I have to say, because they are an awful football team.
Yeah, they're terrible.
But still, I don't know. It'd be nice to win one, right?
I don't even care.
I mean, it means basically, like, you don't care. You're a hardcore Raiders fan.
I don't care about preseason.
First
I never
string,
have.
it basically means that as good as your first string is rumored to be this year, you guys are one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if it's depth issue or what, but it's got to mean something, right?
Well, this is how I look at it.
It's not like
so
it's been your second, third, and fourth stringers against everyone else's first.
Yeah, but look at when we played the Cowboys, for instance. When our first string was in, we were winning. And the second they took them out, then that's when the game went away.
All right.
So that's how I look at it. Like, I have a couple friends that are diehard Cowboy fans, so I got to deal with their shit. And I'm like, dude, you guys might have won the game, but when it mattered, we were winning. So I'm happy.
All right.
But
and
you only have to deal with Cowboy fans like through the beginning of December. Then they're out, and you don't have to worry about them ever again.
Well, we play them, I think, week 15, 16.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Where at?
I think it's in Oakland. Yeah, I think it's in Oakland.
You won't be any happier in any point in your life than when the Raiders move here, huh?
Yeah, I just was talking about that last night. I talk about it probably every day. I still can't believe it. I mean, like, coming from Hawaii, you don't have any pro sports there. So, you know, like, you have UH Manoa as your team. But then as a kid, you grow up, you pick your team, whatever, you follow them. And then I moved out here, so I started being able to make Raider games. But then now for if any pro team came here, I'd probably be stoked about it. For it to be my team, like, that's crazy.
And there's a lot of Raider fans that are from Northern California, especially Oakland, that are saying if they move, I'm done with the team, because they're no longer the Oakland Raiders.
They're stupid then.
I mean, it's the same players. You rooted for one season. You can be pissed at the owner, but it's the same players. And it's the same Raiders. It's just they represent a different city. Yeah. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know whether to tip my hat and say, oh, I hear you. You're Oakland through and through. But, like, what do you just stop hating or stop liking that team all of a sudden?
Yeah, so what?
That's a little bizarre to me. I think I'd be like, damn, that sucks. But if that's my team, it's my team. And otherwise, you're waiting for another team to just show up to Oakland. And I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon.
I think it's worse. I think it's worse for them to go fucking jump ship to, like, the Niners.
Like, why you got to pick that team?
Yeah, pick an NFL team.
That's the closest to them, that's why.
Brandon?
Yes, sir. Question for Brad. He had mentioned the Performance Institute earlier.
Yes, sir.
How's that been? And is that going to be a game changer for the Las Vegas talent, really, having access to that at full time?
It's been amazing, and I definitely think that it changes things a bit as far as, like, it makes being a fighter a little more easier now. You know, you have access to all these great things. As far as, like, everything else goes, like, the skill of everything, like the martial arts side of it, that's still on you as a fighter, you and your team. You still have to orchestrate that and, you know, put that together and put the training in, because they don't offer the UFC hasn't brought in, like, oh, here's this Olympian boxing coach that you can work with, stuff like that. It's just strength and conditioning, physical therapy, getting your body right, the nutrition side of things, which are all huge things in MMA. But I'm more than happy it's here, and my biggest hope beyond this is that it's gonna bring more fighters into town more frequently. Maybe even they move here, which is only gonna make everybody here better.
Now, real talk, because the boys are always telling me that fighters are some of the cheapest people they know. How often do you go up there just for the free meal?
Oh, daily.
Thanks, Brandon, for the call.
Daily. Not even gonna lie, daily.
Daily? Oh, okay.
Daily.
Now, what if you're not in camp? Can you just be going in there, like, hitting it hard? You know, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
So they don't have dinner. They offer breakfast.
That's true.
And lunch. I've only been able to make it to breakfast once because I train in the morning, and that was out of camp. I woke up to take my mom. That was after my last fight. I took my mom and my sister to the airport. I was up early. I was like, I'm going to see what they have over there. Go pig out. Loved it.
Very cool. All right, let's talk to Rolly from Cali. What's up, Rolly? How you doing?
Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? What's up, Brad?
What's up, man?
How you doing? Hey, just to chime in on what you guys saying, I don't care if Raiders go to Vegas. I don't care if they're Oakland. I don't care if they're Las Vegas. Raiders all day. That silver and black all day.
My man.
All right. You want a spot in this contest?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Who do you get? You even know what the contest is?
the signed
glove,
gloves,
yeah. All right.
Canelo and Triple G.
Yep. Who do you got?
I
can tell by your accent. What round do you want Canelo in?
Yeah, I just gonna say he's gonna go Canelo.
Yeah, because Canelo's from we're from he's from Guadalajara. We're like around close from that city.
Okay, what round do you want?
I got Canelo 5th round knockout.
Damn.
Rolly.
He sounds like he's drinking a Tecate right now, huh?
Yep. All right.
Nah, I gotta go to work soon.
Anything else?
Just my question to Brad. Let's just say that Dina just said, "Oh, okay, I'll just hand over the car. I'll just let you do the matchmaking for." Because I know I've been a UFC fan for a very long time, since like 2004, and I know Max Holloway been like really campaigning to the UFC to bring UFC to Hawaii.
Yep.
My question is, who would you put in the card? And yeah. And please say that put my idol BJ Penn.
You know what?
Thanks for the call, bud.
Honestly, like I feel like just to sell tickets, they would have BJ be a part of it, but I think we talked about it the last time. You know, I think BJ, he's done enough in his career. He's proved himself already. Like, you know, he should just chill already. You know, sit back, relax. He's getting older now, and all the young talent is, you know, the youth is catching up, and their talent and youth is, you know, it's hard to deal with. But definitely Max, Yancey, Russell Doan, Lewis, myself, and then there's a bunch of up-and-coming fighters who I would hope that would get a shot. Well, actually, Boston is in the UFC now, so Boston.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Dan Ige, like you guys said, I think he deserves to be there.
Kaylin Curran, part Hawaiian or from Hawaii?
She's from Hawaii, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So
yeah.
Right. She didn't get cut after her last loss, did she?
I don't think so.
That was
all I saw was that she got married.
Yeah. That's the sucky thing, you know. Like I just was reading an article or something, and then so I seen her UFC record, and it's not great or anything, but if you watch her fight, like she's in all these like good, exciting fights, and then so, you know, on top of that, like they're trying to market her, you know, she's a good looking girl, young, up and coming, so, you know, hopefully she can just start turning things around and you know, just go on a streak and one day fight for that title. But yeah, have her on there. Who else is there? All the Hawaii fighters. But yeah, I would love for them to like give opportunity to, you know, like on the undercard, the prelims, whatever. Just have these guys that are not signed yet. Just give them a shot, you know.
What you said about BJ Penn, how the youth just started to catch up. Depending on how long you stay in the sport, eventually that may happen to you.
Yeah.
When it does happen, do you feel like you'll be able to recognize it, or do you think somebody will have to tell you?
Nah, I'll always be competitive, but, you know, like, even if, for instance, like, you know, like how you seen, like, Chuck in his career, you know, his butt thing kind of got pressed and his chin wasn't the same as it used to be. Like, I don't want to, you know, suffer a bunch of bad losses like that. Not just because of losing sucks, but just for my health going in, you know, into my future. There is life after fighting. If you think about it, you live for this long and you probably only fight. There's very few guys that have fought into their 40s, so mid 30s, you know, and that's kind of it, you know. And I'm not trying to put any long-term permanent damage on myself. So, you know, I think I'll realize when it's time to walk away, and yeah, I mean, I hope I will.
Have you thought about what you want to do afterwards?
Yeah, kind of. So when I was like way younger, I've always thought like, oh, you know, it'd be cool. Like, I'll just buy a bunch of houses and stuff, and, you know, like just rent them out. You know, people always need a place to live and whatnot. And then when I went through the whole process of buying my house a couple years ago, my realtor that helped me was actually Eric's wife, Annie. And so I just hung out with her all day. We went to look at a bunch of houses, and I was like I've always been a hustler, like, you know, buying, selling, stuff like that. And then I was like, frick, this would be fun, actually, you know, like doing this kind of stuff and then doing real estate. So that's kind of more like I've always thought about it, but like since then I've kind of like, oh, maybe, you know, that will be after fighting what I would want to do. Like, I think I would enjoy it. That's why.
What about like what Bristol does, flipping houses?
So Bristol is on the contractor side, and I know 2 shits about that. I can pound a nail into a piece of wood, but, you know, like, as far as like measuring angles and this and that, like, I would like to flip houses, but I would have to do like, you know, like his wife is the realtor, so I would be like that.
So that pounding wood, you could do that, but everything else you don't.
I mean, I could do it, you know, like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind working hard, but this fucking guy.
Well, you got to work hard if you're going to be pounding the wood. Right?
I want to give a shout out to Mustafa Hamid, Matteo Yasari, and Dances Wittepez. Thank you for tuning in. Ray Gomez says he's sober. All right. Cheryl Sanchez, Team Hawaii.
Yes, sir.
Brad, tell me a little bit. Ghost started in on this, and I don't know where he was headed. But you fought Elias Theodoro over the summer. You guys went in there, competed, you won, and then you were telling us that things were pretty respectful. What has happened lately that Ghost pointed out? I just didn't have enough time to see it, nor am I privy to what he's talking about.
Just
you guys
I guess
butting heads on social media or something?
Nah, not at all, not at all. Like, he hasn't been like talking shit or anything, but just after the fact. So like after we fought, you know, like even before we fought, he was super cool. I could tell right away that, you know, he was one of those guys that just would try to get into like this fucking social media banter just to try and, you know, like hype a fight or whatever. Everybody's trying to do the Conor McGregor thing now. But when I met him, I was like, oh, dude is super cool, super respectful. After the fight, you know, he just gave me my props. Congrats, great fight. You know, it was a tough fight, whatever, blah,
you
blah,
even
blah.
did a little video, right?
Yeah.
Right after the fight.
Right after the fight, yeah.
Together,
we were walking.
Both giving each other respect.
Yep. And yeah. And then I guess after that, fans of his that thought that he won the fight or whatever started going about it, and then he kind of jumped on that wave too and was saying stuff, and I just was like, you know, like I kind of put an end to it. I just said this. I was like, look, 3 judges that night saw it, you know, differently, and it is what it is. The fight happened. The fight is in the past, and I wish the best to Elias moving forward. I already got my fight scheduled next. I'm not worried about it. I'm moving onward and upward. So that was that.
All right. Talis Latus is the onward and upward. Excuse me. He's coming off a win over Sam Alvey himself. He's been ranked in the top 10 before. He's even competed for a world title at middleweight versus Anderson Silva in the past.
Yep.
Got cut by the UFC, and now he's kind of had a little bit of a resurgence. But tell me about that matchup. Is that something you went for, or is that just something that was thrown on your lap?
No, it had been talked about right after Elias' fight. You know, it's a fight that I was supposed to have last year, but due to injury, didn't happen. It's a fight that we liked, myself and my coaches, my management, and so it's a fight that, you know, we wanted to make happen. It makes sense, and I like it. So, and then I got lucky, you know, like they allow me to fight here again. So thank you to the UFC. Thank you, Mick Maynard, Dana White, Sean Shelby, all those guys.
Tell me about the middleweight landscape. Michael Bisping's the champ. He defends against GSP as a middleweight. What do you think of that? Are you a fight or two removed away where you're not really necessarily worried about it, or do you have any thoughts on it, I guess?
I mean, I guess it's cool. You know, Whitaker and Romero fought for that interim belt anyway, and Whitaker's hurt, so what are they going to do, you know? Have somebody else below Whitaker, you know, fight for the belt? No. So they're going to have this, you know, big money fight. GSP always was a draw. And, you know, maybe some people see it as he doesn't deserve it. But, I mean, when the man was fighting, you know, he put in his work. And, yeah, granted, it was at a different weight class, but it's not that far away. And GSP always was a big dude. So, I mean, I guess business standpoint-wise, it makes sense. The number 1 contenders fought each other, and they already panned that out. I know I seen some articles about Woodley talking about how he wants to fight the winner of GSP and Bisping, which that to me doesn't make any sense, because you have if they made that happen, now you have a interim champion waiting in the wings over for what is like, you know, you have to unify the belts first. That should have been the next fight, but due to injury, it didn't happen. So I don't know. It makes sense to me. I mean, I'm sure there's people like right there that are pretty pissed about it. Like, shit, I should be getting this shot, whatever. But how is any of them gonna jump the interim champion to fight? Besides this money fight, I guess that you could say.
Throughout your career, have you been happy with the matchmaking and the opponents that you've gotten?
In the past, I've been frustrated, not with the matches themselves, but just where, like, at one point, I was freaking going into everybody's backyard to fight them, even when I was riding a win streak. I was going to England to fight the guy from England, Japan to fight the guy from Japan, Australia, all over. And I was like, frick, like, let me fight, in Vegas. That was my only frustration. But, I've been lucky enough these past 2 to get it right here in Vegas. A bunch of my family and friends were able to make it up here. You guys already know there's a lot of local influence here, so a bunch of local fans were able to come out. And so more of the same this time around.
Can you feel when you're being presented a fight? There's times where somebody may call you and say, we're giving you Talis Latus. Or there may be a feeling where they could say the other way around, right? Like, do you have that feeling when you feel like you're being the guy that's being given an opponent versus you're the guy that they gave the other guy?
Like, again, it would only go back to the location that I would feel like they're throwing that guy a bone. As far as, like, a fight, like, I genuinely believe in myself, and I think I can, compete with any of them. So I would never see myself as like, oh, they're like serving me up to this guy, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
I just looked at it. I think, I know it's easy for me to say because you're sitting in front of me, but they're giving him to you. You've won 3 of your last 4. You're 29 years old, right?
Yep, 29.
He's 35.
Almost 29.
He's had a couple runs that were good runs.
What
got him to the dance, to the fight with Anderson Silva. He was 14-1 at that point. Got cut, and then he came back and beat some good names outside of the UFC. Tor Trung, Jeremy Horn, Matt Horowitz, which was an avenged the loss. Yeah, he avenged the loss. I was at that one in Irvine. And then he came through and just kept winning his fights until he got to Bisping, and that was a split decision loss. And since then, he's kind of been on a 2-3 slide. You've won 3 of 4. He's coming to Vegas. You're younger. Your run's better as of late. I think basically this is a fight where they're saying, hey, can you get past this veteran?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if so, then maybe here comes another push towards being a contender, being a highly ranked guy or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the honest to goodness truth of how I feel about it. I don't see how you're being served up to him because he's coming off a win over Alvey, but Alvey got hurt early in that fight. I think a knee, an ankle. Remember he twisted it?
Yeah.
And so there should have been a better effort for him to finish Alvey. Before that, he lost to Jotko, So if anything, he kind of put over Jotko. Now Jotko, I believe, has Uriah.
Yep.
Right? So same thing. This is your chance to make a statement off of his name.
Yeah.
He's been around the sport for a while. He's a good fighter, but I think his run's been over with the Jotko loss, honestly. If he were to beat you and Alvey, he would then get another name before he gets, I guess, like a top 5 guy.
Yeah.
For you, if you get past him, you have to ask for a really high-ranked guy at that point.
Yeah.
Because now you're in a run yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Stay close. We'll be right back.
my favorite time of year.
King Kong has a lot of shit on them. Like a lot, especially Goes. Here, Gorgeous George and Goes.
Shout out to Martin Stabilo, Phil Edelstein, and Jeff Powell. Martin Stabilo says, aloha, guys. Have a good one. Can't go wrong with Brad in studio. Dan Tom joining us here on the show. Let's talk about a couple things that happened over the weekend. On Friday, they revealed that John Jones passed the blood test on fight night. And why that's significant is because the test that he failed was about 36 hours before that. It was right after the weigh-ins, except that was a urine test, and the test he passed on fight night was a blood test. And again, why does that matter? Because the alleged substance, or actually now it's been confirmed by USADA, Jeff Nowitzki, turinabol?
Turinabol.
Turinabol, all right. Yeah, Dan can chime in on that. Turinabol is detected through urine. That's why the blood test would have showed a negative and the other test showed a positive. Again, they have to go through this whole B sample stuff. But I can just tell you, and now with Brad here in studio, he could probably co-sign. I actually talked to a fighter, a world champion this past weekend, who told me, when you piss, the sample that you have is equally distributed into the A and B. He goes, I just don't see. And it's immediately sealed and only opened by a laser at the USADA labs in Salt Lake City, or I think there's one in Tokyo or wherever they go. So basically, he just doesn't see how the B sample will be any different from the A sample. That sounds like it's more for public relations. Like, well, let's just wait and see what the B sample says. Yeah. But basically,
it's the same thing.
We should just get to that and then see what what can happen from then on, what the defense will be, the appeal process.
Yeah, sorry. The only thing that you could get is if somehow USADA fucked up in their lab upon opening the A sample and tainted it somehow. I don't see how that would happen, but that would be the only thing, because that is true. We piss into one cup and you have to hit, I think, 90, whatever it is, mLs, I don't know. 90 though, you have to piss above 90, and then you pour into A. Okay, that line, pour the rest into B. So it's not like you piss for A, you piss for B. It's the same piss put into two different sample bottles.
And you seal it.
You seal it
in front of the guy.
In front of them, and that's the thing is, like, you have to, so shit like that doesn't happen. They tell you, like, okay, you gotta grab it, inspect it, make sure that the seal is not broken. When you open the bag, make sure that was sealed. Inspect everything, blah blah blah, and then they don't touch it at all. They tell you what to do, and you got to do it. From sealing the bottle, which is like this crank, like it's this glass jar, and you got to crank it, like the metal crank on it, click 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 until it can't click anymore, and then you put it in a plastic bag. You got to seal that, and then you put that into its place in this like styrofoam box thing, both of them, and then you even seal that. So
they never touch it. Once it's in your hands, that's it.
Yeah, they never touch anything inside. They never touch it. They touch it to take it out of the bag.
Since you're sitting there peeing in front of them, could you at some point go, "Hey, thanks for coming over"?
Yeah, dude. Like some of
they're
them
wearing gloves, right?
No,
they're not. So could you even extend your hand?
Yeah.
Like, have you ever gone through that awkward moment?
Some of them are so fucking like weird, where they're like you gotta piss, and they're like, pull your pants down to your knees or lower, and it's like, so you're standing there like a little kid with your like fucking pants at your ankles, and then like they're like looking at you, and it's like, dude, like, come on, like, and then like, I don't know, like, I always have a hard time pissing when they're just staring at my dick. And I'm like, fuck, okay, like,
you can't fuck with them in any way.
There's other people, I mean, I guess you could. There's other people that
stand there like this and just go like this, flick
no,
your
like, no, there's other people that would just stand there and see you in your peripheral, you know, like, they're not like, which is, to me, like, fuck, I can see in my peripheral if you're pulling something out, if you got a fucking fake dick, or if you grabbing something from your ass crack, you know.
A Wizinator?
Yeah, but then there's people that is like, they take their job so seriously. They're like,
lift up your nutsack and cough.
How mad would you be if after that guy left, like 15 minutes later, they knocked on your door, they go, USADA, and the first guy was a fake guy?
Nah, you gotta sign in before they collect your sample. And it's usually
you check them for ID as well. You have your vetting. Okay.
They show you. They gotta show you their badge. They gotta like blah blah blah. It's like this whole process. That's why I said like it would if on that trip if they did come and test all of us, it would have took a while.
So they don't have a sense of humor. Like you can't be like, can you guys get a video to help me get started here before I give you the sample? Like,
nah, they're cool like that. All the people that I've come across so far are cool. Of the people that have come out here to test me, 2 have been female, so they had to have their chaperone with them, which is one lady was her actual dad, and then the other lady was her father-in-law. And then one of them is a guy. And the crazy thing is...
And the guy goes in the bathroom with you?
Yeah.
Or the female
Why wouldn't
too?
they just send a male representative?
Yeah, that's all weird.
Yeah, I don't know. So they kind of discriminate. I don't know.
Does she have to be in the room?
No. That's what the chaperone is for.
Oh, so she's not even...
She cannot come in there to collect the sample, but that's what the chaperone is for, so he can witness.
Is it usually the older guys that are perving? Like, hey, what's up?
That's so weird. With something that big on the line, no pun intended, on the line, why would you have a chaperone as the actual? Wouldn't you want like a USADA
employee in there? And I hear the discrimination part, but if you can't technically do your job, then it just has to be a male.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like we're saying you're not qualified, but if you're going to put yourself in the position where like, hey, Pops, you want to go with me? Then I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about... I watched Mayweather McGregor on Showtime, and I'll try and be brief with this, but boy, did they miss something there with the walkouts. They were really quick, and you and I were doing the broadcast on Sportscaster, so I think you and I were talking. We were feeling the moment. Shamakar was here. A few of our listeners from London were here. We were all hanging out. So I think I just didn't grasp it at that moment, but God, like I just feel like that could have been. That's where I think boxing has some good things about them, where, with these entourages that come out, and you couldn't do that for every MMA fight, but regardless, it was just so quick and to the point, and okay, maybe with these delays, that's what they needed to do. I expected more. Also, McGregor, I think, missed the boat a little bit. So when you were able to see it, he was promoting August McGregor, the new suit line, David August McGregor. You could barely see it, so it almost just looked like white fancy.
Where was it? Was it on the rim of the...
On his belt line, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, I did see the Reebok and the Monster on the, in each thigh, but the David August just was gone.
I thought there would be more of a presence.
What's his face looked sharp. It clearly said Hublot, and it was glittering. I thought Floyd got him there, and then now the fight itself. So obviously boxing was piling on. Hey, we won after the fact. I remember thinking I thought Conor did better than he did, but again, watching it now Brad, Dan, as I watched that first round, Mayweather wasn't in any trouble. He really did give him rounds. And did he carry him? I don't know. I think he wasn't carrying him as if to say, hey, we need to put on a show. I'm just thinking, we're going to do something here where we get you through 3 rounds. He wasn't doing that.
He
was basically allowing the other guy to tax himself.
Yeah.
But as they sit in the first round, this is the first chance I actually got to see the corners. And Floyd Sr. is talking to Floyd Jr., and Floyd Jr. is like, he told him like 3 times, I got this.
Yeah, he's like
he didn't look worried one bit. You could just tell that the 10-9, whether it went to McGregor or whatever it was, he could have cared less. All right? And I think he's telling you the truth when he says he was better than he expected, but at no point was he threatened. The uppercut, sure, he felt it. He's not going to, diminish that in any way. And Conor did help sell that many tickets because Floyd versus Berto was only 500,000 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd versus Conor is 4.5 is what we're hearing, which is another story. Unless you guys want to chime in on Maymac, well, I'll move on to the pay-per-view story. But
no, so this is like my thing from MMA fighter perspective. In all honesty, when we watched the fight, there was a bunch of us there, and it was just me and my one friend Don, who I told you, the snoring one. Like, we both thought that that Conor only won round 1. I would have to go back and rewatch it on fight night.
Okay.
But I was like, everybody was like, oh, Conor is winning, and I was like, bruh, I don't know how you guys are seeing it, but I have Conor round 1 and Mayweather every other round, and the only one thing that, like, that's exactly how I saw the fight going, except for the fact that I didn't expect Mayweather to walk him down the way he did.
Yep.
I thought that he was like, that's exactly what I thought was gonna happen. I was like, dude, Conor is gonna gas. This is a boxing fight. It's gonna go 12 rounds. He's gonna gas. I I thought that Mayweather was going to just keep running away and moving how he normally does. But because of the fact that he didn't respect his boxing, he didn't respect his power, he just kept walking forward, which is the only reason Conor hit him, which is the only reason. Because if he fought the way he fought Canelo or anybody else, there's no way. There's no way.
And a lot of those were just him trying to gauge his distance and back him down. And I think a lot of people were feeling that maybe those added up into the CompuBox or I don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
And then
the hammer fist.
There was some things that Mayweather were doing where he was coming in like a bull, walking him down, and when McGregor would throw his power punch, which is supposed to be his left, his jab, which is his left.
No, his right.
jab is his right.
He's southpaw.
Connor's southpaw. So Connor was throwing a soft jab, right, and keeping his hand low. And I mean, it was like boxing 101. Mayweather would come in and basically just throw an overhand right, but Conor wasn't used to his speed. Mayweather, 40 years old, was still fast enough, and it still had some zip. Yeah. It may not be one punch knockout power like Marvin Hagler or anything, but it still has some zip, and it added up. And that's why the decision to go with 8-ounce gloves was brilliant by Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
And everybody kept thinking McGregor. I think they got it wrong. Now again, I don't want to be the following Monday quarterback because it's bad enough when there's a Monday quarterback. Now I'm being the following Monday quarterback.
That
but
Monday
this is
he's going. You believe
a great replay on a 60-inch TV, whereas all I got to see was my laptop and a couple of versions that came in a foreign language, if you know what I mean. So this was one where I actually got to freeze it, check it, go back, rewind, all that stuff, and it really again it's about what you would expect for an MMA fighter to do, but in no way was it like boxing that threatened Mayweather at all, man. No. And a younger cat like Canelo,
but not everybody
one that's not there to
that.
Fuck around and fear. Yeah, you're right.
The majority of the people
celebs,
said,
the rich people,
crap,
yeah. Oh my God! And that's what they brought to the table was entertainment.
Yeah, it
was
was
a boxing person that really had some sort of an interest could definitely see that.
You could break it down and see what actually
for sure
happened.
Now, what we're hearing is 4.5 million views according to pay-per-view buys by Steven Espinoza from Showtime. Really, all we're falling back is on with the 6.5 million was half a quote that Dana White had issued with Uriah Faber, then basically saying 6.5. Wow, I don't know if Dana went on to confirm anything like that, but if the Showtime guy's saying 4.5, what could that be? Who knows? But maybe we were too quick to point that it could be 6.5 when it's really 4.5. Either way, that's still a phenomenal day for them. They're still getting paid a ton of money.
Yeah.
It was still a form of entertainment for many people, including myself. But that replay really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I didn't catch on to earlier.
This is all stuff that I said prior to the fight. I said no matter what, it's a win-win for Conor McGregor. I said that when people were asking, like, because they're like, oh, this, that, because, like, the longer it went on, the more people were jumping on Conor's side, and I was like, dude, do you guys not understand? Mayweather wants that. Mayweather needs that. If he comes in here and just totally, smashes it and be like, this guy is, like, nothing. I'm not, like, he needs to do these little things, which is why he was, like, tweeting out, like, hey, I'll be at my club every single night. Come hang out with me. And then people were like, oh, no, he's not taking it seriously. Then the whole 8-ounce gloves thing. Oh, no, it's in 8-ounce gloves. It's favoring McGregor. Yeah, he wants people to think like McGregor has an advantage now because of this. Because that will drop the lines. That will make people more interested. That will make the pay-per-view buys go up. This is all stuff that I said prior to the fight. And that's, when you look at it after, that's exactly what he did. Then people are like, after, they're like, oh, yeah. Like, just how you said, like, at no point was he ever worried. Was he ever in trouble? Because he wasn't.
Just a couple punches landed, but Mayweather's not worried one bit. Let's take this break. Listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Can you extend it in any way, Danny?
Yeah, I'll just keep going. Say my.
That's what she said.
Just keep going.
I was toting my pack along the dusty Winnemucca Road when along came a semi with a high and canvas-covered load. If you're going to Winnemucca Mac with me, you can ride. And so I climbed into the cab and then I settled down inside. He asked me if I'd seen a road with so much dust and sand, and I said, listen, I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I travel, I've had
He taught
my
Andy
share,
Griffith how to
man.
whistle.
I've been
Here are Gorgeous George and
everywhere.
Goes.
I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, La Paloma, Bangor, Baltimore, Salvador, Amarillo, Tocopilla, Barranquilla, and Padilla. I'm a killer. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. Travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere.
Dude, the guy goes to the National and he just comes
I've
back.
been to Boston,
Charleston, Dayton, Louisiana, Washington, Houston, Kingston, Texarkana, Monterey, Faraday, Santa Fe,
Palmerston, Glen Rock, Black Rock, Little Rock,
Tuscaloosa, Tennessee, Chicopee, Silver Lake, Grand Lake, Devils Lake, Gators Lake, for Pete's sake. All right. Oh, one more. One more?
It's long, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'll do one more. Gotta catch my breath here.
I've been everywhere. I've been to
Louisville, Nashville, Knoxville, Homerback, Cherville, Jacksonville, Waterville, Costa Rock, Richfield, Springfield, Bakersfield, Shreve Rock, Hackensack, Cadillac, Photolac, Davenport, Idaho, Jellicoe, Argentina, Dublin, Pasadena, Catalina.
I've been everywhere, man.
All right.
I've been everywhere.
It's the MMA Junkie Radio Show. We are sticking around just a couple minutes of OT, so we had a little fun there. Boy, there really was more. There's a lot of them. Great song. Brad Tavares, UFC middleweight, who will be fighting Talis Latis on October 7th here in Las Vegas. It is a pay-per-view, and it's going to be a great fight, man. Can't wait for it. Over the weekend, if anybody pissed you off, guys, this is the time to share it. Goes will stun gun them for you. We can't be pulling guns or knives out on people. The only thing we can do is hold them feelings until Monday when it's Stun Gun Monday, and then boom, we let them have it. Goes, who do you got?
I'm going to stun gun the channel Lifetime. They had a marathon of their Little People show, you know, where it's like Little People Dallas, Little People. Whatever. Yeah. I don't know how they get away with this, but they set them up in positions where they know things are going to go wrong, but they sent them to a carnival. And like, you know when you take like a dart and you hit a balloon?
Yeah.
And you get like a little prize, right? They did it and won the biggest prize you could possibly get. This poor little girl is trying to drag a panda bear and she's falling down. The producers have to be laughing their asses off. I don't know how they get away with it, but it was just like they took them to a stripper class where they're in these giant heels and they just basically want them to fall.
Damn.
It was horrible, dude. So I'm going to stun gun that.
All right, I want to stun gun Nick Sanchez from Arizona. UCLA was down 34 points, and he was already talking about nothing better than a USC win, except for a USC win on the same day as a UCLA loss. And what happens? UCLA comes back and outscores them, I guess 34-0 or whatever it was, and comes back and wins 45-44. Way to go, Nick Sanchez. You fucking jinxed it, man. It would have been great for USC's rival to start off 0-1. Oh, well. All right, let's do a soft exit, and then we'll see if the boys over here have a stun gun. It's MMA Junkie Radio on a Monday, Labor Day. SiriusXM audience, I hope you have a nice holiday. Tomorrow, we'll be back at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And, yeah, we'll be right back for OT.
Have me some fun, it cost me my very last dime. If I wind up broke, well, I'll always remember that I had a swing in time. I'm gonna give it everything I've got. Lady luck, please let the dice stay.
You guys are clear for overtime.
And the point being, just keep your mouth shut till the game's over. You know, that way we can't look back and think that that was the jinx. Dan, Tom, do you have a stun gun story for today?
Game of Thrones spoilers. I'll just throw that out there. We can argue for spoilers and, you know, if it's a week, a year, what everybody's cutoff is. But what I'm stun gunning is people saying, I don't want to put a spoiler, but I hope this character's okay. That I've seen more spoilers for this damn Game of Thrones thing. And I like Game of Thrones, but I'm not super into it. I've seen more of cross over all social media platforms. And then I've seen a bunch of people just getting it spoiled for. So
what do you feel the rule is on a spoiler? if the show, we'll use Game of Thrones. I know it's a Sunday show, but let's call it, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What would you say the fair spoiler is?
I feel like if it's something that's a hot topic, like Game of Thrones is almost viral throughout the community, then the timeline becomes a little iffy. Then it's like, okay, just like, it becomes like, okay, maybe a season or 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying?
You can't talk about Game of Thrones for a whole season?
That's a lot, Dan.
Well, I mean, if you could talk about it, but do you have to talk about it to nobody in particular, just kind of giving away things that spoil it, or can you have a conversation with people who have watched it? Or if you do want to do social media, can you burn the calories, be creative enough not to spoil something?
I don't watch the show, so I'm making people.
Okay.
Let's just say Sir Lancelot gets killed on Game of Thrones, right at the end. The episode airs at 9 Eastern. The show ends at 10 Eastern. He got whacked at 9:55. The credits are rolling. You want to react to it, right? Should you hold off because maybe someone is a few minutes behind, or maybe someone's on the West Coast and they don't get to watch it till 9 p.m. on the West Coast?
I've always said if you don't want them, don't go on social media.
Yep. Or can you just express yourself however the fuck? Oh my God, I can't believe Sir Lancelot got whacked.
I'm with Goes. If you don't want it, you don't have to be on social media. But that being said, if your job is to go on social media, and again, this is something that's viral, that's bleeding through every little aspect of life, like a Game of Thrones thing, then I would say a rough thing is maybe like one season, or if you could talk about it. But again, this is more of a stunt gun, not for spoiling, but it's for spoiling, but it's for people that can't talk about it. They can't draw the line where they can even be like, oh man, this episode was awesome, or this episode was sad. That's fine. Like, you can exclamate those points, but this episode was awesome. I hope this character's all right. And you're just like, come on. Or they're posting like a picture of something.
So you'd rather them just say, I can't believe Sir Lancelot got waxed, and just be upfront about it instead of the tease? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'd rather have them be the tease. I don't like them being uncreative and just like blowing it. Like, oh my God, this person, da-da-da-da. Like, I think.
Why not? Don't you express yourself with others that... It's like when if Overeem gets knocked out, you don't go, oh man, my boy's at a wedding.
Right.
You basically go, fuck, Overeem got knocked out, and then others, they say what they have to say or whatever. I would think it's the same thing. I would say the onus is on you to stay off social media if you don't want to get spoiled.
Dan, this is a reverse stun gun. I think it's gonna have to go to you.
Okay.
Think about what you're asking.
How about
you're asking for a whole season, not even like an hour, a day, a week, a month, a whole season.
So the season premiere of season 2, you would actually tweet, "Woo! I can't believe Rambo made it out of First Blood." Like, that's a long fucking time to react, dude.
That's taking me literal. And George just asked for kind of a rough, like, what's a rough? That's my answer for a rough. But when I was elaborating, I'm saying the more thing I'm stun gunning is people posting, and they're gonna post, but they're gonna post something directly, to do it. At least have a purpose. Like, for example, I love Marco. Marco called in. He gave a spoiler to start his call off, didn't elaborate, and went right into MMA. What was the point of bringing up Game of Thrones if we're not going to talk about why did you spoil a key moment and then just move on? Like, okay, anyways, that bridge is collapsed. Let me move on to relevant talk here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
fuck spoilers. But yeah, as far as social media goes, that's on you to stay off of it. But if somebody did that, like, hey, what's up, guys? Oh, fucking so-and-so got iced last night. That sucks. By the way, the fights last... Like, I'll be like, what the fuck?
Right.
You fucking asshole. Like, if you don't have control of it, then yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And again, at the end of the day, I actually have to go on social media for my job. And even though I'm complaining about this, I do agree with Goes. At the end of the day, it's your own onus. So that's why I just if I see like a Game of Thrones hashtag or a picture, I just keep scrolling. And I'm up to date with the motherfucking thing. I'm one of the few people that have been up to date with it. And even me, I'm just like, come on, I'm up to date with this motherfucker. And so I'm coming in from a sympathetic angle. But if you want a reverse stun gun, I'll let you guys.
If I log on and I get spoiled, it's on me. I am a little like, oh God, I wish you wouldn't have said it, but it's on me because I went on there, and I think others should be entitled to post whatever the heck they want. So this goes for live sporting events, shows, or whatever.
I just stay
if somebody has the courtesy to say, hey, spoiler alert, then I'd be like, oh man, that was cool, and then I might turn away. Whatever. If they're doing like a live video or something,
I'm a little biased.
Turn down the volume, but
I'm a little biased too. And I actually studied film in high school and was like a nerd and was like a part of boards, film boards where spoiler actually was a rule and whatnot. So I guess I've been more aware of this kind of common courtesy. But in the social media, the takeoff of fucking reality TV shows and all these shows now it's like, you're right, you can't avoid it. Now it's just to the point where it's like, you know what, you're at your own risk because technology went, like in many departments, it moved too fast for us.
I actually have a piece of technology, and I'm able to see Dan's tweets from this coming Sunday if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
LOL, Atlanta Falcons. How could you let the Patriots come back on you? Ha, ha, ha.
How about you, Brad? Anyone piss you off this weekend? Nobody speared your toe or nothing?
Nah, nothing like that.
You saw it didn't knock on the door at 6 a.m.?
You saw it didn't knock on the door. My food was all good. I mean, I get
the guy was snoring in your.
No. I just
last Saturday, right?
No, that was a Saturday.
Oh, really?
No. That I was just starting to fall asleep. He didn't wake me. I was like, bro, and I woke him up, and then I was able to fall asleep before.
Did you kick him out, or like, hey, you got to go home, or just crash on the couch?
I just wake him up.
Okay.
He's like, get the fuck up, like, you know.
Well, what's the rule? What if he falls asleep again?
I just throw a pillow at him or something, a water bottle.
Right.
Safe distance.
Are your buddies are allowed to crash over there if they want?
Yeah, I don't give a shit if they fall asleep on my couch. I don't care. Just help yourself. But okay. Since he brought this up, there was this guy when I was in the barber shop, and talk about fucking spoilers. So the next Game of Thrones season is not till 2019, right? The series finale, whatever. This dude was just blabbing on, and I have no control over this. Like, it's not like I'm on social media. I can't even turn up the fucking volume. I'm sitting in a barber chair. Like, what is short of me just saying, like, hey, buddy, shut the fuck up? And, you know, like, that's improper, though. So, and he's talking about, like, all these, like, theories, and, like, I'm sure he's read it somewhere. You know, it didn't sound like his own fucking ideas about, like, who this guy is, and like I won't even go into it because I hate like spoilers. Like, I don't even like when I fucking haven't watched an episode yet, and my friends are like, "Did you see the last episode?" And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like that's my words out of my mouth.
They fake it.
No, like I don't want to know anything about it. Like, I don't want to know good, bad, sad, nothing. I don't want anything. And then this guy was talking about like some shit way down the line, and he was just going on and on and on about it. I guess he was saying something like the books, so where the series is now, the books haven't even been written that far, which is why they're taking so long. But like his so-called theory on it, and I was like,
did you say anything to him?
Dude, no. I was getting my haircut. I was more concerned with moving. But yeah,
hey, you know who the worst people are the ones that say, I'm not gonna spoil it, but make sure you watch the last 5 minutes. You just fucking told everyone.
That was my stun gun, goes. That was my whole stun gun.
Dude,
you just picked up the point of my stun gun.
My best friend, when we were.
Well, you said it wrong though. You said something about a whole season.
You said 2 seasons. Because we talked you guys down to one.
Because you guys were asking me like, well, how much? What's the season? What's the season? I was saying no. It's the people that say, hey, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I'm like, that's the worst.
All right, I have an issue though. I have an issue. Do you like talking with your buddies about shows?
Do I like talking to them about shows?
About TV shows or whatever?
Only if they've seen it.
But how can they get there if they say, unless they say, did you watch this week? You said you don't even like it when they say that.
No.
It sounds to me like they're being polite. Did you see it?
No, that's fine. But they'll do shit like this. Did you see it? No, not yet. Don't say anything. Brah, shut the fuck up. Don't even say that.
I get that.
So like, put it this way. One of my friends, like 2 of my best friends, my friend Russell and Bryce, no matter if I'm talking to Russell or I'm talking to Bryce or Bryce is talking to Russell, vice versa, we're in a group text, even if it has nothing to do with me or whatever. I didn't know till fucking couple weeks ago, my dumbass friend Bryce had not even started watching Game of Thrones. I thought he was watching it this whole time. I was like, what are you talking about? So he just got to season, what is this last season? 7, right? He did it. He just binged it. Like, he did it. So, but like, that's kind of stuff. Like, I want to talk to Russell about it, but we just won't even talk about it. Like, we won't even text each other on the side just because, like, you know, like, I don't know. That's just how we are. Like, that's how I am. Like, one of my friends back in the day, I forget what fight it was. I know it was GSP and BJ, but he called, like, I was at work, so I couldn't watch it live, and he'll call me, and I'll be like, this is how I answer the phone, because he's ruined shit for me before. I answer the phone, shut the fuck up, I never see the fights, don't tell me anything. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything, but bro, you're gonna be pissed.
Yeah, I hate that.
It's like, bro, the worst.
I agree.
Now I know BJ lost.
Yeah. That's perfect what you said. This might be the same time where there was a 112 Abu Dhabi where we couldn't watch it while it was going down. That when Frankie beat BJ the first time, and I don't think there wasn't Fight Pass or wasn't like the up to date with the digital media, right? So you had to wait and keep your eye off spoilers, keep your eye off the fucking scroll bar. So me, my stepdad, and my mom, we go to eat at an island style Hawaiian restaurant. They have the TV Island Sushi, they have all the TVs up there with the ESPN and the sports, but they have the scroll down, and I'm telling my stepdad, I'm like, don't look at the thing. You don't want to get it spoiled. We're going to watch the fight later.
Tickers, huh?
And he just, all of a sudden we're eating, he goes, fuck! And I go, what? He goes, nothing. I'm not going to spoil the fights for you. I'm like, what?
You just did.
Yeah, dude, it's the worst.
But that also highlights the difference between sports is kind of okay, even though that sucks, and I sympathize, and I'm sure we have our stories, but sports falls more with news where you can't spoil it, whereas entertainment is kind of more up for argument, whereas a TV show would fall under entertainment. That's more at your own leisure. These aren't things that we need to be updated. But again, it kind of falls back to the technology argument. Technology says, fuck y'all. Y'all get inundated with all of it no matter what.
But by your original reasoning, this Saturday you would have tweeted out, "Bravo, Narcos Season 1." Yeah, because it would have been the start of Season 2. It would have been okay to talk. Like, think about that. You wouldn't do that.
You must have just explained it wrong then.
Yeah. No, I just explained it wrong because I would
just off the top of your head.
I'd say Bravo season finale, the night the season finale gave, but I wouldn't be like, oh man, this character gave a good performance till he ate it. You know, like I'm not going to add that second sentence. It's the first sentence. It's 2, it's 3 if you can be creative and not ruin the fun for everybody. Talk as much as you want. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those things where it's like, yeah.
You know who had a huge night based off of UFC Fight Night? UFC 112? Ariel Helwani. Ariel Helwani, obviously he's a talented journalist, does his thing, but he told me, and I think he said it before publicly, that when he was at Abu Dhabi and there were problems with communications, he was able to still, whether he went out and got a chip or maybe paid the long distance toll, was able to get updates, and his Twitter just went through the roof. Now, of course, the more you get, the bigger leaps you take, you know. And again, I'm not suggesting that he wouldn't have that following if not for that, because obviously he does great work. But he said he just went, it was in the thousands that he picked up because he was the only one that could give certain updates. Remember, Dana was pissed at Anderson. Yeah. Communications was down with some of the fights and stuff like that. But somehow he was able to get a signal or whatever however he was able to pull it off. He was there, and remember, not a lot of media traveled either. So yeah,
that's a weird night, man.
Yeah. All right, last thing, guys. Just a quick reaction on Alexander Volkov versus Stefan Struve. You were spearfishing. I don't think
I didn't see it. I didn't see the results. So.
Yeah, Volkov won, and sorry.
No, I don't care.
Okay. Volkov, because he says he doesn't really follow it close. I'll give you the quick results, and then we can react more to this tomorrow, so we can just get out of here and enjoy the holiday. Alexander Volkov defeated Stefan Struve, 3rd round TKO. You did say take over 1.5 rounds, right?
Yeah, that's a safe bet. Hopefully people didn't follow my pick because my pick was wrong. But yeah, the only play was over.
Yeah, it was over.
Yeah.
Okay. So well, why are you hoping people didn't take your picks?
Because my pick was wrong. Yeah,
oh, I see. Okay, but that part was right. Yeah. But that said, they came out and they were slugging early, which is something that Volkov doesn't normally do.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those where the pick was – went 10-2 picks, so I can't complain about the picks, but it was one where the analysis was right. It was Struve with his uppercut was going to have more ways to win. That's why I kind of sided with him. But I told gamblers, be careful, because if that doesn't happen, Volkov's slow burn, he's going to have the better shot selection. And then he picked up, got the stop in round 3.
Yeah, Siar Bahardizada moves up to middleweight and defeated Rob Wilkinson. Man, I thought when Wilkinson was taking him down, he was going to be able to just, basically grind out a win. But CR, he just kept coming back, and he got a win. Now he'll settle back into welterweight, calling out Matt Brown. Matt Brown's already got an opponent. But regardless, still, he comes in like every few years and has, some sort of a great showing, and then he's basically back in. Whether he can stay healthy or not, I don't know. Marion Renault defeated Talita Oliveira. Leon Edwards defeated Brian Barberina. Darren Till, we'll get into the rest later, but I will say big win for Darren Till. Darren Till did exactly what you're supposed to do when you win, and that's do something that allows us to remember you. He won a unanimous decision. Sometimes when you go to a decision, you don't get that in Octagon post-fight interview. He did, and I thought he had some great shout-outs towards – one was political. It had to do with Brazil, but it was just him doing some matchmaking versus Ponzinibbio and just talking a good game, man. It was really, really good for him. Maribek Tasimov gets a win. Michael Praseres gets a win. Rustam Kabalov gets a win. Alexander Rekic gets a win. Zabit Magomed Shapirov gets a win. Jesus, I feel like I'm reading ACB results or M1 results or something. Abdul Karim Edilov gets a win, and Thibaut Guti gets a win.
Whoa, they fought. Oh, shit. I was like, what the hell? They were just both same name.
Oh, yeah. Bohan Mihalovic and Velikovic. That Abdul Karim Edilov's in the news because he is a big part of
Karadov.
the Chechen leader, Karadov's I guess his entourage, but we'll get into all that tomorrow. Brad,
when is Gokhan fighting?
Gokhan Saki fights in Japan on the 23rd.
September.
Yes.
Damn,
So in about 3 weeks.
2.
Yep. All right, you got about 1 month left of camp, so I hope you have a happy and safe camp. Go out there, man, and do your thing, because like I say, I think they're bringing him for you. This is your your time to shine here in Las Vegas. You know what I mean? So you can get into these big contender fights like the Mother Cat. So I really hope the best for you for the next 30 days.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me, as always.
Thanks for co-hosting. We went into a bunch of topics, but it was a blast, man.
Yeah, it always is, man.
All right. Follow him on Twitter, at Brad Tavares, and at Dan Tom MMA. I got it right now. At MMA Junkie George, at The Goes, and Danny is at Danny Otto. Danny, did you have a stun gun story? Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Really quick, I had a guy driving next to the sidewalk and hit me with puddle water. Yeah, and it wasn't even a lot. It was just enough to it's on my shoes, and all I can think about is cleaning my shoes when I get out of work today.
Did you shake your fist?
That would be me.
Yeah, you kind of have to shake your fist, huh?
A little bit.
If I see guys,
you splash a lot of people?
I fucking hit it hard.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Have you gotten waves? You're hitting them with waves?
Yeah. I mean,
Boyd used to have a big truck. He did that.
Did he?
Yeah. I would have to be I would have to be super judgy of the person from far. I'd be yeah, this guy looks like a douche. Yeah. Shit.
Where's a good spot in Vegas to do that?
I don't know. It's only when it rains anywhere.
Yeah.
But then when it rains, people are not walking around. So I don't do it so much now, but I used to. I used to be that dickhead. Shit.
All right, folks. We're out of here. We'll see you all tomorrow. Until then, go out there and be champions.
Peace.